We have multiple generations of watches here. Why don't you walk us through the evolution of what your thinking is here?
The first generation is the watch that you have and the watch that I had.
Well, you actually never had
I
it.
never had it.
Well, I like to tell everybody in the world it's a piece unique. It's Ming's Ming that
It
you
is.
never ever really got to wear.
It is, and I'm a little bit. I have mixed feelings.
Well,
about
get
it.
over it. 'Cause I think I've made that watch famous. I love it. And a lot of people, including my wife this morning at breakfast right here in Dubai, had never seen it before on my wrist and said, "What is that? That's beautiful."
Okay.
So that is a pretty good call because she's very, very picky.
As all wives are, and we always know they're right.
She loved it. And she hates red bands too, but on that one she said, "Hey, that kind of works."
I will admit, this I agree works because it's a bit more monochromatic.
So your first kind of iteration was a hit. Very complicated watch. This is actually a world timer that's got a floating dial.
Correct. But we want to try and hide the complexity, but give you hints of the complexity. So that's why it's transparent towards the edges. It has a gradient sapphire where you basically look like you have a solid dial. It inverts. You get this mirror effect. The numbers for the world time indication are underneath the dial. You can see them through the dial. But then towards the edges, it fades out to the base plate of the movement. So it's just to give you an idea of the complexity that's there. This was our first generation design language in that we were still trying to figure out what we wanted to do.
Now,
and
why
what
would you
defined
put yourself in front of such a complication for your very first piece? A world timer's a pain in the ass to make.
We're masochists. Why start a watch brand at all? Why start a watch brand at all from the wrong part of the world with a bunch of people who've never been in this industry?
Yes,
This is easy.
That is a
right?
good
So
question. Okay.
That's generation one. Generation two, I learned CAD. Generation one was designed in Photoshop and with pencils.
Interesting.
Generation two, I learned CAD, and we have two pieces from like early second generation and late second generation here. These are more maximalist designs where basically we start to do things like sculpting with the case. We do relief. This guy has a big movement, so it's got the Argent graph, an unusual center stack chronograph, paired together with a dial which is basically micro machined from a single chunk of titanium. We threw everything at the book with this, so this is.
And you made a monster piece. It's big.
Well, it's actually the smallest Argent graph you can get because it's roughly 34, 36 millimeters. You've got the clearance for the pushes. So 41 and a half.
You came back to more medium-sized.
This is the biggest watch we've ever made and will ever make. Yeah. So 41 and a half is required to accommodate the movement.
Well, actually, the
was supposed to be
case
42,
engineer came
43,
back
yeah.
and said he wanted 41.
Yeah.
The case engineer came back and said, "I need 42," and then Ming basically fought for 4 months.
For that half
and
millimeter.
they split the difference.
I'm glad to hear there was a fight because, in the Asian market, these bigger pieces don't do as well.
But what we do is always have short interlug distance, which means that the pivot points are very close together, which means that small wrists can wear them.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to be able to wear what I make.
I get it.
I don't
You have a
use
small wrist.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So late second generation is a lot more minimalist. It's a lot cleaner. We still have sculpting. You'll notice that the case on the inside.
I see a little heritage to first generation on this.
Exactly. So it's a 9 series, which means you have box sapphires front and rear. You have that continuous transition between sapphire and case, which I wanted to have here, but I couldn't, and now we do.
Yeah.
Engineering improvement. At the same time, this is our second generation world timer. So this is why this is interesting, because this guy is really the successor to this guy.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a direct successor to this guy because we also have the DLC case here, both in titanium.
Well, this really made a splash because it was so different when it came out. And
Right.
that, you got a lot of, what I would say, free momentum because you dreamt up a dial that was so different. Mm-hmm. And so that's great. I mean, starting a micro brand and building it up. And how many pieces have you now made in this last 8 years?
We're somewhere around 18,000.
Okay, so you're kind of like a real deal now.
I would like to think so. I mean, we're 8 years in publicly. We're in the low 80s in terms of references launched. By the time we hit 10th anniversary, I think we'll work it such that that's basically going to be piece number 100.
So you're doing some very interesting stuff as you move towards current generation.
Right.
Now, I'm going to give Benji the credit for finding this piece online, right?
I've been following for, I guess, since 2016. So, yes, when I saw that piece online, I said, I was blown away.
This was the most difficult thing I've ever had to photograph because the color changes. We had people, there's one photo of the watch on a strap with angle one direction, so you see one dial color. There's a watch and the watch next to it on a bracelet angled in a different direction, so you see a different dial color. And that's part of the whole multi-phasic coating that goes into this dial. We had a lot of people emailing us asking, which watch did I buy? And we said, it's the same watch.
When I saw this watch and I told Ken, I was like, we got to get this one. The first thought I had in my head was, I want to go outside in different areas, in different climates, in the snow, in the sun, and on the beach. and see how this watch looks, how it feels, how the warmth of it, and all these different colors. There are very few watches that are out in the market where you can have different experiences with that watch
Right.
anywhere you are. Right.
But that's the intent.
And
That's
you
one
bought
of
it
our
at sub $10,000.
Yes, and there are some design compromises required for that.
Well, it doesn't look like you gave anything up on the
No,
dial.
I know we had multi-part lugs as well, just because we're masochists and we wanted to finish the sides and the top differently. But the design compromise is in the movement, because we picked a movement that was able to work at this price point. It means that we had to, instead of putting the counter at 12, where it normally is, we had to flip it to 6, because otherwise the whole dial configuration doesn't work.
Well, I love it. I
get
think you should call it a feature, not a bug, because when I put it on upside down originally,
Yep.
and then you corrected me, and I thought, this is kind of cool, because it's almost like a Panerai thing. When they made huge lugs, people were whining that it was digging into their wrist. Well, you solved that problem in perpetuity with this piece. No problem.
Can't claim credit for that, but
So
I will take it.
the dial's absolutely crazy, and I love dials. So this is going to be a terrific pairing with the original World Timer. That's a nice little combination. I know you don't like the red on it, but I don't give a shit because I have to have a red band, as you know.
Customer's always right. I'm not going to say it. Customer's always right.
It matters of taste.
Customer's always right.
You wouldn't have said that if you were from Switzerland.
It was Norway.
I would have said, no, it's the red and the white. It looks very Swiss.
But we left out intentionally this because you've dropped a new band on the market that everybody's talking about right now. This is crazy
You
stuff.
need to like give it a jiggle. So
Yeah,
what I
well,
always do is this. I just keep twisting it and twisting it and twisting it and twisting it.
Wow, that is...
And then you like let it unjiggle itself.
And what
You just,
metal
like,
is
give it a
that?
jiggle. It's titanium.
Okay, so
Grade
that's
five-
why
grade
people
5
are...
titanium.
That's why people are squawking.
And it's strong up to how many?
1,000 newtons. So we did failure tests. I don't want to call it a strap. I don't call it a bracelet. It's something in between. We call it polymesh, polygons, mesh.
But it's printed. It's 3D printed,
It's
right?
sintered. So you get layers of titanium powder. Then it's zapped with a laser. It fuses. Another layer gets deposited. It fuses. So basically in 10 micron increments, we fuse multiple layers. And this allows us to make an interlocking geometry that basically has no supports in the middle. So it's connected, but it's not connected.
So this will be a feature going forward for the brand, right? There'll be watches that this will be able to be integrated
Yeah,
with.
for sure. And we'll have different geometries as well, but it's a very
I think this is something, not just dials, not just calibers, not just watches, but when you start to be known for what you're doing with bracelets at a young brand.
tactility. It's not about the bracelet, it's tactility. It's how do we get that feeling.
But it's got to work with the dial. It's not going to work on every one of your pieces. I think the challenge is when you start to get much larger dials.
Sure.
This may not feel right. I like it on a very easy, light, thin watch, but it's a little funky chicken when you get into a much larger caliber that's thicker.
Which is why we have additional versions in development.
Oh, really? A little thicker?
Yeah.
The
Different finish, different geometry, different thickness, but every time we change the geometry, it's complex because there's nearly 1,700 pieces in
So would you say you're now in generation? Well, you're generation 5 because you don't use the number 4, right? You really have 4 generations.
That's actually not entirely true. There was an entirely stillborn generation that I guess is 4.
The prototypes around anywhere?
No, we didn't go to prototyping. We actually in the space of generation 4, we actually got our own 3D printing setup in the office. So a lot of the like life-size watch case stuff we would print, try on ergonomically, see whether it works. It's a lot easier for us to do soft prototyping that way rather than going to hard prototyping, eating a huge amount of R&D costs and then finding that it's...
The reason I bring it up, I don't know if you guys have noticed an auction of the last, it's but 12, 13 months now. The original prototypes for a lot of brands are coming to market in auction at insane prices.
Yes.
Even though technically they're not that sound, but they're the first piece uniques. This is a Ming's Ming, number 1. It actually works, which is good.
Course.
It's very good.
It was meant to be my watch.
I got it. But the reason I hold on to it is as you grow this brand, this is where the value is, unfortunately, for you, in the original pieces. And this is what Jorn found out the hard way. All those pieces left inventory, went out into the world, and they're now worth 6x what a new watch is worth. That's what's so amazing about this. That's why it's so interesting to go back and see how you started. And definitely the DNA remains in the dials. But let's see this. What is this?
Mr. Wonderful here. No one needs a watch, but everybody wants one. Why?
because it marks a moment of time in your life. Many watches appreciate and value over time. That's why I created WonderCare. Want to learn more about insuring your watch? Go to wondercare.com.
We call this the peep show because now you have a very simple, elegant black dial, and then now you have a simple black dial, and then now you
Polaroid factor.
color shift. It is a polarization.
Yeah.
It works with linear polarization, but basically this gives you the best of both worlds. Restrained minimalism
And the case metal is?
titanium.
And the price point on that's going to be what?
19,900 Swiss francs.
But again, I see a little heritage to the original generation
Correct.
on Ming if you look at the back.
So this is the second generation of this movement. In the first case, we minorly customized something that they already had. In the second generation, we kept only the rotating parts and basically redesigned everything else.
Yeah. All right. This was fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.